And what's your educational background? Did you go to college? Was high school your highest level of vocational school?
I finished high school and 2 years of college,
What school did you go to?
uh, Fullerton Junior College.
Um, do you work or are you retired?
I'm retired.
Okay. And do you have any children? If so, what are their ages?
I've got two. They're probably 50 and 48.
Okay. And where were you born
Canada,
and where were you raised?
Cleveland, Ohio, till I was 12.
Okay. And then when you were 12, did you move out to California?
And then I moved to California.
Okay. Where did you raise your family?
California, Southern California.
Okay. So, like I said earlier, the next part of the interview is going to be about media consumption. We're going to start with sound recording. So, what records did you listen to growing up or in adolescence? What
Well, I
records around?
was into rock and roll, Elvis for one, and Ricky Nelson, and the Beatles started influencing me. So
So nowadays there's like MP3 files that you listen to music. How did you listen to your music
back
when
then,
you were growing up?
how about a 45 record in underneath the dash of a 56 Ford?
That's cool. Who was your favorite recording artist?
Hmm, Probably, I've got to say Elvis.
Elvis. Okay. What kind of record player did you have, and where was it at in your home?
I was in my bedroom for a while, and then as I got married, and we had a 33, 45, 78 big console in the living room.
Do you remember what brand it was?
Uh, I could say Motorola.
And was there any kind of music you weren't supposed to listen to?
No, I was never confronted with anything that I couldn't play.
Were you allowed to play music whenever you wanted to, or were there parental limitations in your home?
Uh, None that I remember.
How about this? Do you remember how much a record cost?
Good question. I couldn't tell you.
Where did you buy your records from?
We used to have, I think it was record stores.
An actual record
record
store?
Yeah,
Do you remember the name of the record store by
couldn't
chance?
tell you.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't tell you.
How did you find out about the artists you listened to? Because nowadays we have the internet, but back then, how would you find out about?
TV, word of mouth, basically. But, black and white TV, maybe.
um, do you remember where you bought your first record?
Couldn't tell you.
No.
But it was probably, I think it was an album. I remember, what was that record store? Okay, I've got to drop my head.
That's right. What did your parents think about records and record players? Did they use them? Did they?
My dad was into the 40s, and he listened to a lot of the big band, but he had a lot of 78 records. So I got to listen to a lot of his music, and that influenced me. It was really great. So
No, you say 78s. What's
that's
that?
those big discs.
The big
Yeah,
vinyls?
big,
Okay,
yeah.
so the 45s were the smaller ones?
Yeah, yeah.
Did they hold the same amount
Well,
of
they had a
music on them?
33, 45, and then the big 78s.
So what was it? Did they hold the same amount of music?
One,
Or
right, one song.
one song? So there was an A and a B?
Yeah, something like that. Not even a B. One-sided.
One-sided. How do you think music influenced your life as a child and adolescent?
It was something you'd fall back on, just something that you could listen to and forget some of your aches and pains,
What type of sound recordings did your children listen to? Did they listen to CDs, tapes, records?
I think cassettes, 8-track.
8 tracks, that's on there too. 8 track. How did they experience music or sound recordings different than you think you did when they were growing up? Versus
I
when
think
you
they
were
were
growing up?
into it more. I think it was more flexible. It was out there for them, and they listened to a lot of music.
Oh, okay. So the next section is going to be on the radio. What do you remember about your experiences with radio growing up?
Not a whole lot, believe it or not.
Did you listen to the radio as a child? I remember hearing stories from others for other people. There was
Sitting at
like
the
radio
desk and listening
shows. Did you ever listen to like radio shows on the?
Yeah, a little bit, but not a lot that I can really remember. You know.
Okay.
I was more into the TV part, so.
So like the types of programs, was it like entertainment, music, talk, anything like that? Mainly music.
On the radios,
Yeah.
Mainly music. If I
Okay.
was going to listen.
Like when would you listen to the radio? Would you say?
As I was growing up, probably after school.
Okay,
You know?
after school. Do you remember anything about the early radio commercials?
No, not too much.
Do you remember
shave? Okay,
stuff like that?
Yeah.
Do you remember any public concern about radio commercials?
No.
Was there anything offensive about the commercials?
There was no contradictory thing. Nothing that I could remember. That.
Would you say that the programming, growing up when you were a child, adolescent, would you say that it was clean, like family oriented, family geared? Like, was there explicit language? Was there?
No, it was just fresh. It was just trying to get your attention. There was
Clean,
no
not
obscene or
anything like that?
offensive, anything like that. No,
Okay.
Not that I remember.
What about like nowadays? They say sex sells a lot of things. Was sex part of advertisement back then?
Not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much. There might be a pretty girl standing in front of a fine-looking car, and yeah, there was, sex sells, but I don't see anything that was, they weren't pushing any limits or anything.
Do you remember any educational radio programs?
I wish I did. No.
What technical problems did you experience with your radio set?
Well, when I was a kid, I had a crystal radio, if you remember that. It was put a little wire on the crystal, and you tried to get a station. But that's all I remember. The rest, a little static on occasion. You wouldn't get a good, clear sound, but most of the time.
Okay. Do you have any, or do you have any specific memories, good or bad, about listening to the radio when you were young?
No.
If so, what were they?
No, I don't have anything that was bad, good, or just something to do in your spare time.
Okay. What was it like when FM radio became available?
I think it was a step up.
Okay.
Yeah, literally. I got to hear some sounds. I got past just the radio, AM news and crap. Yeah, that was a change.
Would you say there was more music on FM
Yes,
versus AM?
more music.
Okay. How do you think radio influenced your life as a child or adolescent?
Well, it was an outlet. It was also comfort. It was good. It was a go-to place.
Okay. Did your children listen to the radio? If so, what was their experience like?
I can't really tell you when I think about that, because those are my drug years.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
No, that's right. I mean, it was in between marriages.
Okay.
No, I can't think too much.
How did they experience the radio differently than you did while growing up?
I really can't answer for the kids.
Okay.
They listened to radio all the time. They always had something going, music-wise, and
So you said more frequent. They would listen to it a lot more. Frequent.
It was out there more. The media was such that they were in the know a lot more because of the radio, I think.
So more information and
all
more
the time.
Stuff was a lot more available to them.
Much more available.
Okay. Television and cable. What was it like when TV became available? Did you always have a TV in your house? Or did you remember a time when you guys got a TV?
I don't remember when we had a TV. I remember we had a black and white TV at my earliest age.
Where did you watch your first TV programs? And what were your viewing experiences?
It was probably in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
And we used to watch Mickey Mouse Club. That was a Sunday night. Every evening there was a special show that you got to watch.
Okay.
And that could have been a black and white that my folks liked to watch. And can't remember some of the names of the shows, but I got into them with them too, and it was a lot of fun. It was a family affair, and we all sat around the TV just like you'd see a commercial back in the old days, and that's not here anymore.
Okay. And then nowadays, everybody has a TV in every
Yeah.
single room.
I'm reminiscing. Yeah, okay.
Do you remember how much your first or how much your family's TV cost?
I couldn't tell you. It was on whatever it cost.
Do you remember TVs at all? Would it be considered a large purchase? Would it be something you would have to save up for?
I do remember that we had a black and white, and then somebody down the street got a color TV, and that was beyond our scope. So, we lived in a moderate place, and so to get a color TV was a big thing.
Okay.
So,
how old were you when your family got a TV?
well, it probably was probably 8 or 9,
Okay.
10.
What was the reception like?
Poor.
Well, were there a lot of TV channels?
Probably 3.
Wow.
Like 2, 4, and 7, and you'd sit there and wait for this TV to come on at, say, 7 in the morning, and it'd have a countdown and a funny screen, and you just were so excited to see this thing. And then when this TV came on, it was the news or some kind of crapola show, but you were waiting for it to come on.
So TV, actually, there were times where there wasn't anything being broadcasted. It would actually be off air.
Off air.
Wow.
Off air. So we were waiting for it, like I say, to come on.
So
and then it would go off at, say, 11 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night.
Just shut off.
That was
and
it.
when TV was on, what type of programs were there? You mentioned a couple. Do you remember any of those early TV shows?
Well, there were sitcoms of sorts. I can't think of some of the names right now. Geez. I used to watch the variety shows with Sid Caesar and all them.
Okay.
That was a big thing. Folks loved that, and I liked the comedy on them. There was quite a few of those.
When you say variety show, you mean like the Carol Burnett show, stuff like that?
Yes.
Is that like a variety show?
That.
Okay.
Only earlier because I'm sure it was pretty early, but there was a lot in that kind of thing.
What was a typical family viewing session like in your house? You mentioned it was like a family affair. You all got together.
Right.
Would you eat dinner, then go to the?
Then we go to the TV, and I'd sit on the floor with my brother, and we'd watch the shows. And it was just like early Americans in the 50s, early Americana. It was pretty good.
How long would you say a TV viewing session would last?
Well, go back to Disney. I think it was an hour, but we'd sit out there for an hour and a half, and it was time to go to bed.
How did TV change your home life?
Well, got to stay up on occasion. It was something that we sat around as a family to do, which was neat. Not that we did that all the time, but we had a set time. Everybody got around that wanted to watch it. I don't think my dad was interested in some of the stuff we watched, but I was interested in some of the stuff he watched.
What was some of the stuff that he watched?
World War II recap. You watch the various wars and the various fights throughout the world, and it was really neat. This is Edward R. Murrow. He would a lot of news in that direction. So you watch that kind of stuff.
Would you say that TV was allowing you to see things beyond just America? Like you started to see things, like you mentioned World War II. Before you would read about it in a book, but now you're actually seeing it on TV.
Was
Did it change?
Informative. You saw, you got a piece of the world. Yeah. You got a reality check, like World War II. That was like you could have been talking about the Civil War, but you saw it on TV. You got to see some things going on. I don't think people realize that, and there's so much more of it now that you could see, but I don't think the people are tuned in mentally. The young kids.
Yeah, so
see what's going on.
Seeing it versus reading about it, did you say that viewing it actually had more of an impact on you versus?
Yeah. A picture's worth 1,000 words, right?
What do you remember about the corporate sponsors of TV shows, if any?
See the USA and the Chevrolet, a lot of dealerships.
A lot of
Throwing
dealership
that they
commercials.
sponsored a lot of the big shows. So when you watched the show, you knew they were part of one of the car dealerships all the time. Always there.
What if
Buick? Okay.
what if anything do you remember about the quiz show scandals?
Well, I didn't watch them too often, mainly because I just weren't that sharp on some of these things. But yeah, that was that blew me away when that $64,000 question. Yeah. Then they find out they're cheating just for sponsorship and for viewership. Sucked. Probably the first big scandal on TV.
Probably yes.
Part of the TV. Yeah.
What do you remember about the first 30-second TV commercials?
No, I never defined commercials in 30 seconds, but probably that was a long time.
Do you remember anything about the commercials? Were they like jingles? Were they?
Yeah, some
the
of them
catchy,
jingles.
the products. Would you say that they were?
Shaving, they're different things.
Do you think that they
sing along with them?
Were they gearing their commercials towards a specific audience? Would you say children, women, men? Were they all over the place?
Back then, I don't know if they were that refined. I think they were probably all over the place, but they wanted to get your attention. So the music got your attention.
The music was what got your attention?
That's right.
How do your television experiences in the 1950s compare with your television experiences now?
I'm not happy with the TV now anymore. I'm paying for 1,000 channels, and most of them in Spanish. And then most of them you got to pay for on top of what you're paying for already, right? And then it used to be, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, you're sitting around the TV, maybe as a family affair, and there's set shows on, and nobody likes change. But you got, Tuesday night's going to be this, and Saturday night's going to be that. We don't have shows that you really want to sit down and watch, and then they're not altogether good. I don't know, they're offensive, some of them. They're forcing you to watch things you don't want to watch. It's a great show, except, okay, now we got to be LGBN stuff, and we get into this. And it's frustrating. They have to throw that in there. And sometimes it's a soft sell. Sometimes it's in your face. And you go, that's not what I'm doing here. I just want to sit down and watch a good show, be entertained. I don't want to be told that I should be donating money to it.
So would you say you would prefer TV shows that kind of left out social issues and just kind of focused on just kind of entertainment? Yeah. You like the variety shows, the comedy, but leave the politics and the social aspects out.
I could have said that in about 2 words, and I should have. But exactly. But I got to voice my opinion.
No, absolutely. No, that's what the questions are here for.
Yeah.
If you have it, how did you decide to get cable or satellite? Which one do you have?
Right now, I've got. I think I have cable.
And what made you pick cable versus satellite?
Right now, it was just cost. The price just keeps going up, and it's basic cost. And I've gone through about 3 different companies, and they keep going up on you. So, at this point, cost.
What are your favorite things to watch on TV now?
Mostly I've been watching Blue Bloods.
Okay.
And reruns of MASH, and I can't believe I've gone to that, But there's just nothing I really am focused on that I really enjoy that's not offensive to me. And I don't know if it's my age or just the total offense of some of this crap that I've been watching. So.
How do you think television influenced your life as a child or adolescent?
Well, you became more informative of things in the world because, you just sit in your little house and you get to see the rest of the world. If you explore things that are happening and watching what's on TV. TV, it teaches you. It's a media. It gives you information. Sometimes it's biased, but at least you know what's going on in the world. And it's very fast now. So, in fact, a I'll tell you, the computer's faster than the TV. Mm-hmm. Every morning I get up and I go for the news to see what's going on, to see what's going to make me mad. And TV's a day late.
Wow. So you get your news from the computer now, from the internet.
Yeah. 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm on there finding out what's going on in the world. And it's exciting.
Right.
I go, oh my God!
What were your children's viewing habits of television like?
Boy, I don't know. They seem pretty busy. I don't know if I could say that they had any big habits, that they were focused on TV so much.
Did you guys get together around the TV like you did as a child, or did that kind of start to
I don't think. I think
away?
that had dissipated. It's gone. At that point, I think TV had changed quite a bit by that time.
So them growing up, from what you remember, was TV just kind of there? Wasn't really something they were. Would you say they were more into radio and music?
Music, radio, and then cell phones after a point, but not quite.
Right then. Okay, so movies. What were your first movie-going experiences like, and how are they different than today?
Well, when I was a kid in Cleveland, I used to take a bus downtown and by myself or with somebody, and we'd go sit in a movie theater for a quarter and watch a movie. And we got to see 2 cartoons at the end of the 2 movies, and I enjoyed the cartoons. Pretty cheap, right?
That's cool.
That was back when. Now it's a little different, obviously. In fact, I don't go to the shows anymore. I evasive. I don't want to see the crap that's out there.
That's fair enough. What were some of your favorite films growing up, and why?
I like action.
Action movies?
Action movies.
Did you have a favorite movie? Favorite actor?
Well, I liked Steve McQueen, as the one guy was a tough sucker, but it was good. I liked the action movies. It was just a bunch of them. I can't think of all the ones. I like cowboy movies. Okay. John Wayne, I like some of his old ones. Not as much as some of my buddies, God, I got a whole repertoire of his movies, but I liked the cowboy movies, I liked action movies. And then we got into sci-fi stuff, Star Wars came out, I thought we had gone to a new level. That was one of the greatest movies I ever saw when I sat down and watched it for the first time.
Was it because of the special effects? That
were right at the beginning when this thing just came out, I go, oh my God, we have arrived, And that was good. I mean, that really caught your eye. So, that was something new.
Do you remember anything about Al Jolson and the First Talkies?
I remember seeing some of his shows. My dad had watched some of that stuff. And, Al Jolson, I remember.
What do you remember about the excitement surrounding Gone with the Wind? Had Gone with the Wind already come out?
Yeah, it was in the 30s, I think, 34. So it
had
was
already been
I wasn't involved in that. I've seen it, and it was just too much drama. It was set in such a way that it was aged for me. I couldn't quite get into it.
Okay.
But,
were there films that your parents forbade you to see?
No.
What films were the most influential to you, or for you?
I really can't give any one. I will say, if you read Between the Lines, not read Between the Lines, but Forrest Gump was really a good piece that covered so much, and if you sat there and watched it, it was my era. So I caught all that and I go, this is really what has happened. So the director caught it all, and it was a great show.
How do you think movies influence your life as a child or adolescent?
Not so much. I don't think.
Was it something
anything daring where I killed myself?
Was it something you just did for entertainment?
Entertainment would be a better.
Did watching those westerns make you want to go out and become a cowboy?
Yeah, that could be, but realistically, no. But I figured I could ride a horse. Learned that I didn't do it well, but what did I like about it? And where did it take me? It's hard to say. I enjoyed them. I wished I could be some of these guys. I realized I didn't have the talent for some of the stuff, but it was fun to watch. But other than that,
What about your children's movie going experiences? How were they different than yours growing up?
I don't know if they were going to movies more. I think they were trying concerts more.
Okay.
So, all right. So
Concerts were
I don't
more.
think they really bought into the TV shows as much as. And I think they're still going to concerts.
So. Well, that ends the interview. Thank you. I appreciate it.